Throughout history, civilizations have embarked on ambitious undertakings that stretch the limits of technology and resources. Ancient feats of engineering and construction were not only monumental in scale, but also in their significance to the societies that built them, serving as temples, fortification, public works, and symbols of power. So for today's video, we're going to take a look at 15 forgotten ancient megaprojects. Starting with number 15, Nan Madol, Micronesia. Nan Madol, which is often called the Venice of the Pacific, is an ancient city that's just off the eastern shore of Pohnpei Island in the Federated States of Micronesia. Now, it's built on a coral reef. The site's made up of nearly 100 artificial islets, which are linked by a network of canals and cover an area over 200 acres. These islets are home to the ruins of stone palaces, temples, tombs, and residences, showing that Nan Madol was once a thriving metropolis. Quite who built it, though, is a mystery, with works believed to have started around the year 1200, or perhaps even a few hundred years earlier, and ceremonial center of the Saudeleur dynasty, a ruling family that, according to legend, wielded mystical powers. The city's strategic location and design suggest that it was also intended to serve as a fortified stronghold, controlling access to the island's interior. It is a mystery, too, why the city was ultimately abandoned, with the leading theory being that rising water levels made it uninhabitable. Today, it acts as a reminder of the complex society that once thrived in Micronesia and across the Pacific Islands, and as such, it's been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of the architectural and engineering achievements in the remote Pacific. Number 14. Sigiriya, Sri Lanka. Sigiriya, or the Lion Rock, is a giant historic fortress and palace ruin that's located in the Matale district of Central Province of Sri Lanka. With a height of nearly 660 feet or about 200 meters, it's seen as one of the most valuable historic monuments in Sri Lanka. This ancient rock fortress is known for its strategic engineering, sophisticated urban planning remain today, and it's from here that it gets its name, which means Lion Rock in Sinhala. One of Sigiriya's most famous elements are the frescoes, which were painted on the western face of the rock. These paintings, which depict celestial maidens, are incredible examples of ancient art, showcasing the unique style and skill of the artists of the time. Another feature that would have stood out was the mirror wall, which was once polished so much that the king could see his reflection in it, and it contained verses written by visitors of the past, providing insight into the thoughts and languages of the ancient peoples. The water gardens, too, were ahead of their time for their hydraulic engineering. The sophisticated system of reservoirs, canals, and fountains is evidence of the high level of technological achievement reached by the people of the time, and it allowed them to create a lush environment on a rock that should be, by all rights, have been barren. Number 13. The Blythe Intaglios, the United States. The Blythe Intaglios, also known as the Blythe Geoglyphs, are a group of gigantic figures etched into the desert floor of the Colorado Desert. They were created by removing the top layer of the desert to reveal the lighter soil beneath, creating stark contrasts visible from a great height. Some of the largest human figures measure over 170 feet or 52 meters in length, making them some of the largest geoglyphs in North America. The purpose of them, however, remains a subject of speculation. Some indigenous oral traditions suggest that figures have a spiritual significance, serving as part of a ceremonial practice or as markers of mythological events. Despite their historical and cultural importance, the Blythe geoglyphs were not widely known to the outside world until about the 1930s, when a pilot flying over the area noticed the figures. Since then, they've been protected and studied as a significant archaeological treasure, and have shown there to be far more to learn about ancient American history than people had previously thought. Number 12. The Walls of Benin, Nigeria. The Great Wall of China is, of course, well known as being the longest wall to have ever been built. In Africa, though, there was once another structure that almost equaled the Great Wall in terms of its length, spanned an area much larger than modern-day Benin City, and were around 9,900 miles in total length. That's 16,000 kilometers. This immense project was not only a military defense system, but also served as a statement of power and technological advancement, reflecting the empire's organized social structure at the time. The construction technique involved the digging of ditches and the erection of earth embankments. Now, these ditches were reportedly dug by hand, but unfortunately very little remains today. Despite their historical significance, most of the walls of Benin were destroyed during the British punitive expedition in 1897, which led to the looting of the city and the significant cultural and material loss. Today, only remnants of the walls and moats exist, serving as a reminder of the capabilities of the once great Benin Empire. Number 11. The Baalbek Megaliths, Lebanon. These megaliths, located in the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, is a series of incredible structures at the Baalbek Temple complex, which is one of the largest and best-preserved Roman temples in the world. Have uncovered even larger stones, with one dubbed the Stone of the South, estimated to weigh over 1,600 tons, and make you wonder what the temple would have been like if they had been fully finished. The construction of this complex, particularly the placement of these gigantic stones, has been a mystery to historians and engineers for centuries. The Romans, known for their architectural ability, managed to transport and lift these enormous blocks into place without the machinery available today. The purpose behind the use of such massive stones remains a subject of speculation, with theories ranging from religious significance to demonstrating imperial power. Number 10. Mohenjo-Daro, Pakistan. Mohenjo-Daro, which is in the province of Sindh in Pakistan, is one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, showcasing an urban planning and social organization of the Indus Valley civilization, which flourished around 4,500 years ago. It covers an area about 740 acres. Mohenjo-Daro is meticulously planned with a grid-like street layout, and it was divided into two major parts for hygiene and public health, unlike anything else from that time. Countless artifacts such as seals, jewelry, pottery, and tools have also been found that suggest a society engaged in agriculture, trade, and crafts. The seals, often bearing animal motifs and inscriptions in an undeciphered script, show that there was once a complex social organization and possibly a form of administrative control or type of governance. Now, despite its size and design, it's only survived for around 600 years before falling, but it's not yet clear why this happened. Theories range from climate change to rivers shifting their course, but whatever it was, it caused the city to be lost to the world for thousands of years before being rediscovered in the 1920s. Since then, excavations have shown so much about the Indus Valley civilization, with plenty more to be revealed, although in such a delicate state that there are fears of changing environmental conditions and human activity that could impact further study, and the focus is now on preserving what's left. Number 9. Derinkuyu Underground City in Turkey. Complex network of tunnels, rooms, and passages, all designed to provide safety and sustenance for its inhabitants. Air shafts were strategically placed throughout the city to provide ventilation, while large stone doors could seal off the city from invaders or danger. The construction of Derinkuyu and other underground cities in the region is believed to have been done by the Phrygians, an ancient Indo-European peoples, although it was expanded extensively and used by other groups over the centuries. The city's design reflects an understanding of stone masonry and architectural planning, allowing for the support of extensive weight above while providing the basic needs of a large population below. It's not clear how long people actually lived in there, for how long it was in use, and why it was lost for so long, but it's thought thousands of people over the years were able to successfully hide in there to escape invasions, making it one of the most successful hiding places to have ever been built. Number 8. Avebury, UK. The Avebury Monument in Wiltshire, England, is one of Europe's largest Neolithic monuments and arguably the most impressive, the henge having a diameter of over 1,000 feet. The stones used in Avebury, which vary in size but some stand up to 40 tons, are locally sourced sarsen stones, the same type of stones used at Stonehenge. Now, these stones were arranged into a grand circle, one of the largest in Europe, with an original count estimated to be about 100 megaliths. The purpose of this circle and the two inner ones remain subject of much speculation, with most believing they had a ceremonial or ritualistic significance, possibly aligned with astronomical events. But what makes Avebury truly unique, though, is the village that grew in and around it. Unlike Stonehenge, Avebury's stones and earthworks became an integral part of the local community, with houses and a chapel built amongst the megaliths, roads bisecting the circles, and some stones repurposed or destroyed throughout history. Excavations and studies suggest that Avebury was once a part of a larger Neolithic and Bronze Age ceremonial landscape, linked by processional avenues to other sites, including Sanctuary and Silbury Hill, the largest man-made mound in Europe. The site was rediscovered as a site for religious ceremonies. The complex features a series of massive, intricately interlocking limestone boulders, some weighing as much as 200 tons, which form the walls of the fortress. The precision with which these boulders were cut and placed together is so exact that not even a blade can be inserted between them, and this is without the use of mortar. This technique is known as ashlar masonry, shows the advanced stoneworking skill of the Incas. Covers an area around 7,600 acres. Sacsayhuaman's design and construction were completed through labor of tens of thousands of workers, both skilled and unskilled. The transportation of these enormous stones to the site from quarries located miles away was a monumental feat, and it's not yet clear exactly how it was made possible. The site has 3 parallel walls that zigzag together for more than 1,300 feet, which some suggest imitate the teeth of a puma, linking it symbolically to the city of Cusco, which was laid out in the shape of a puma. The largest stones are found in the lowest part of the complex walls, with the size decreasing as the walls rise. And overall, the dam was built across the Wadi Adhana in the valley of Dana near the city of Marib, which is the capital of the ancient kingdom of Saba, and it's an area that's often associated with the Queen of Sheba. The primary purpose of the dam was to harness the monsoon rains that flooded the wadi, and it was designed to irrigate the land and support the agrarian lifestyle of the Sabaean people. It's made from packed earth and stone. The original structure was about 1,900 feet long and about 13 feet high, and over the centuries it was repaired and upgraded numerous times. Structures like this can teach a lot about the people behind them, and in this case, such a communal project would have required organized labor, a clear administrative structure, and a significant understanding of local environmental patterns. The maintenance and repairs of the dam also suggest a high level of social cooperation, far beyond most other civilizations at the time. It was so important that the dam's ultimate breach around 1,400 years ago is thought to have been one of the major factors that led to the decline of the Sabaean kingdom. The failure of the dam forced the people to migrate, Ottomans leaving their mark on it over the years. Throughout this extensive history, it's been damaged by earthquakes and warfare, but each time it was rebuilt, with each successive culture adding to its richness. The present-day building primarily dates from the Ayyubid period in the 12th and 13th centuries, an era when the citadel saw significant fortification efforts. Featuring a bent entrance that was designed to slow down attackers and expose them to defender projectiles, the militaristic design is clear. Once through the massive gate, though, visitors would find themselves in a large courtyard, leading to various buildings including royal palaces, baths, mosques, and barracks. One of the most impressive features within the citadel is the 13th century throne hall, where sultans would receive guests and hold court. Its intricate decorations reflect political power and artistic achievements of the time, and along with a great mosque that dates back to the 11th century, it shows the religious and communal aspects of the site's history. Number 4. The Plain of Jars, Laos. The Plain of Jars in Laos is a mysterious. Archaeologists, however, believe that these jars were associated with prehistoric burial practices, with evidence suggesting the jars were used to hold the dead until the bodies decomposed, at which point the remains were then cleaned and buried in the ground or in smaller jars. The jars themselves are carved from various types of local rock, including sandstone, granite, and limestone. Now, surprisingly, no two jars are precisely alike in size, shape, or design, with some featuring disc-shaped stones that are thought to have functioned as lids, and despite the seemingly simple tools of the era, jar makers achieved a level of symmetry and design that's ensured their survival. The sites, some accessible and others hidden in the terrain, are set amidst the backdrop of lush green hills and rolling landscapes. But there's more than just tricky terrain that prevents researchers from exploring them in greater detail. The region was heavily bombed during the Vietnam War, and many jars were damaged or destroyed. And still, to this day, unexploded ordnance poses a risk, making some areas dangerous and inaccessible. Number 3. Sukhothai, Thailand, and it's covered with lotus-filled ponds, moats, and the remains of royal palaces. The name Sukhothai translates to Dawn of Happiness, in reference to the golden age it represents in Thai history. Standing out at the center of the park is Wat Mahatat, the spiritual center of the kingdom, which remains a visually stunning complex. This and other temples within the park are decorated with stucco reliefs and statues of the Buddha that further display the unique style. The urban planning of Sukhothai also shows a deep understanding of environmental harmony and sustainability. The city was designed with water management systems that include large ponds and canals for irrigation. As visitors walk among the ruins, they use the same paths once walked by the Sukhothai people, past the remnants of intricate city gates, through zones that were once bustling with markets, busy streets, and residential quarters. The old city's layout, with its principal monument aligned with the compass points and celestial bodies, reflect the cosmological and religious beliefs of the time, showcasing a society deeply connected to both its spiritual and natural environments, including the stunning Viswakarma in Cave 10, which is also known as the Carpenter's Cave due to its ceiling being carved to mimic wooden beams. In these caves you can find sculptures of the Buddha and saints alongside impressive chaita, or prayer halls with vaulted ceilings and dome-shaped shrines. These Hindu caves exhibit a wider array of deities, mythologies, and themes. The most impressive of these is the Kailasa Temple in Cave 16, which is the largest monolithic structure in the world, and it's dedicated to Lord Shiva. The temple is adorned with many more intricate sculptures too, including the Ramayana and the adventures of Lord Krishna, reflecting the vastness of Hindu sculptures. The Jain caves, although not as many of them, are just as extraordinary, with detailed carvings and a level of finesse that reflects the Jain ethos of precision. Importantly, the Ellora caves are much more than just a collection of architectural marvels. They're a reminder of the religious harmony prevalent during this period of Indian history. The coexistence of structures dedicated to different faiths in close proximity speaks volumes. Colossal stone buildings in the Egyptian history. It's thought to have been a prototype for the ones in Giza. The step pyramid rises to a height of 203 feet or 62 meters, with 6 distinct layers or steps that were originally intended to be a traditional rectangular mastaba. However, Imhotep expanded the structure into a square base and built a series of mastabas on top of each other, each smaller than the one below, to form a pyramid. The pyramid is part of a larger mortuary complex that was enclosed by a sizable trench and a wall of light limestone, which covers an area of about 26 acres. This complex was a complete departure from the norm, featuring a series of elaborately decorated chapels, courtyards, and temples around the pyramid, where the pharaoh could enjoy his spirit in the afterlife. The site also includes the Sardab, a small enclosed chamber with 2 holes, where the seated statue of Djoser peers out towards the stars. Amazingly, beneath the pyramid lies a network of underground tunnels and chambers stretching almost 4 miles, which were built for the burial of Djoser's family members and for the storage of goods and offerings for the afterlife.